What if the love you feel is a lie? What if the person holding your hand is quietly pulling the strings of your heart? In the dance of romance, some partners don't lead, they control. Welcome to the unsettling truth of how manipulation starts in a relationship, a shadowy game where affection becomes a weapon and trust turns into a trap. This isn't just a story of love gone wrong. It is a descent into the tactics that twist devotion into domination. Are you ready to see the signs before it's too late? Love begins with a spark, a moment that feels like destiny, a stranger's smile across a crowded room, a late-night conversation that stretches until dawn, a touch that sends shivers down your spine. It's intoxicating, irresistible, and exactly what manipulators exploit. The seeds of manipulation are sown in those early euphoric moments, when your guard is down and your heart is open. Psychologists point to the dark triad, narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy, as the traits that fuel this deception. These aren't just personality quirks, they're blueprints for control, wielded by those who see love as a chessboard and you as a pawn. Narcissists are the first to strike. They enter your life like a whirlwind, armed with charm that feels tailor-made for you. They study your desires, mirror your dreams, and present themselves as the perfect partner. This is love bombing, a tactic as deliberate as it is dazzling. Picture this: a bouquet of roses on your doorstep after a single date, a flood of texts proclaiming you're their everything, a weekend getaway planned before you've even defined the relationship. It's overwhelming, but that's the point. They want you hooked, addicted to their attention, so you lower your defenses. Consider Mark, a 32-year-old graphic designer who fell for Claire, a colleague with a magnetic personality. She was charming, quick-witted, and seemed genuinely interested in his life. But soon, she began sowing doubt about his social circle. "Your friends are kind of holding you back," she'd say, her smile disarming. She'd cancel plans with flimsy excuses, leaving Mark to spend more time with her. When he tried to reconnect with others, she'd sulk or pick fights, making him feel guilty for wanting a life outside their relationship. This is isolation, a hallmark of Machiavellian manipulation that shrinks your world until the manipulator is all you have. Psychopaths are the most dangerous of the trio. Unlike narcissists who crave worship, or Machiavellians who plot for control, psychopaths feel nothing. Their emotions are a performance, a carefully rehearsed act to blend in. They'll mimic love with chilling precision, saying all the right things while feeling none of them. Their manipulation starts with exploitation, pushing boundaries to see how much you'll tolerate. They might lie about their past, cheat without remorse, or provoke fights just to watch your reaction. To them, you're not a partner. You're a source of entertainment, a puzzle to be solved and discarded. Take Lily, who met Ryan at a bar. He was intense, captivating, with a knack for making her feel like the only person in the room. But his stories didn't add up. Vague details about his job, conflicting accounts of his past. When she caught him in a lie, he'd deflect with charm, or turn the blame on her. "Why are you so suspicious? Don't you trust me?" This is gaslighting, a tactic that distorts your reality until you doubt your own mind. Ryan would disappear for days, then return with grand apologies, keeping Lily on an emotional roller coaster. Psychopaths thrive on chaos, using it to destabilize you and maintain their grip. The stakes of manipulation are staggering. It's not just about hurt feelings, it's about losing yourself. Victims of manipulative relationships often suffer profound psychological damage. Studies show that prolonged exposure to gaslighting and emotional abuse can lead to PTSD, anxiety, and depression. The brain, under constant stress, rewires itself, strengthening pathways tied to fear and self-doubt. You might recognize the relationship is toxic, but the manipulator's voice lingers. "You're nothing without me. No one else would want you." This psychological warfare is why manipulation is so hard to escape. It traps you in your own mind. The damage is compounded by the betrayal of trust. Manipulators don't target the weak. They target the kind, the empathetic, the hopeful. Your capacity for love becomes their weapon. They exploit your willingness to see the best in people, turning your compassion against you. For Anna, it was her desire to fix Ethan that kept her tethered to him, even as his criticisms grew harsher. For Mark, It was his loyalty that Claire twisted, making him feel guilty for wanting independence. For Lily, it was her hope that Ryan could change, despite his lies piling up. The manipulator's greatest strength is your belief in their potential, a belief they cultivate and exploit. But how does it start so seamlessly? The answer lies in the manipulator's ability to blend in. Dr. Robert Hare, a leading expert on psychopathy, notes that manipulative individuals are often indistinguishable from healthy partners at first. Their charm is their camouflage, their lies polished to perfection. They exploit the honeymoon phase, when you're most vulnerable to flattery and affection. By the time the red flags appear, hot and cold behavior, subtle put-downs, and unsettling need for control, you're already entangled. The manipulation starts slowly, almost imperceptibly, like a poison drip. A comment here, a suggestion there, each one designed to test your boundaries and reshape your reality. Take Anna, a 27-year-old nurse who met Ethan at a charity event. He was charismatic, attentive, and seemed to know exactly what to say. Within weeks, he was calling her his soulmate, showering her with gifts and grand promises. But the intensity had a purpose. It created an emotional debt. Anna felt obligated to match his devotion, to prove she was worthy of his affection. This is where manipulation takes root, when love feels like an obligation rather than a choice. The narcissist's goal isn't connection, it's admiration. They need you to see them as flawless, and they'll craft a persona to ensure it. But the mask doesn't hold forever. Once you're invested, the shift begins. Compliments turn to subtle critiques. You're so much better when you dress up, they might say, planting seeds of self-doubt. They might question your choices, your friends, your hobbies, your ambitions, framing it as concern. I just want what's best for you, they'll insist, their voice soft but edged with control. This is the second stage, erosion. The manipulator starts chipping away at your confidence, making you question your worth. For Anna, it was Ethan's comments about her stressful job, suggesting she didn't need to work so hard since he could take care of her. It sounded caring, but it was a step toward dependency. Machiavellians take a different approach, one rooted in strategy and deception. Named after the cunning philosopher Niccolo Machiavelli, these manipulators are calculated, always 3 steps ahead. They don't just want your admiration, they want your obedience. Their tactics are subtle, often invisible until it's too late. They might use triangulation, pitting you against others to spark jealousy or insecurity. My ex was so good at keeping things organized, they might say casually, knowing it'll make you strive harder to please them. Or they'll isolate you, subtly distancing you from friends and family. Your friends don't really get us, they'll murmur, their tone dripping with false empathy. The goal is to make themselves your entire world, leaving you nowhere else to turn. Breaking free requires vigilance and courage. The first step is recognition. Watch for the signs. Love bombing that feels too intense, too soon. Criticism disguised as care. Attempts to isolate you from your support system. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. Manipulators rely on your hesitation, your willingness to give them another chance. Don't fall for it. Set clear boundaries and hold them firm. A healthy partner respects your limits. A manipulator pushes against them. Seek support from those who know you best. Friends, family, or a therapist can help you see through the haze of deception. If you're in deep, plan your exit carefully. Manipulators don't relinquish control easily, and their reactions can escalate when they sense you pulling away. Take Mia, who escaped a manipulative relationship with a narcissist named Alex. At first, Alex was her dream partner, attentive, ambitious, endlessly charming. But his charm turned controlling. He'd criticize her appearance, monitor her social media, and guilt her into canceling plans with friends. When she confronted him, he'd flip the script, accusing her of being ungrateful. Mia began documenting his lies, saving screenshots of his contradictory messages. She confided in a close friend, who helped her recognize the patterns. Slowly, she rebuilt her confidence, setting firm boundaries and eventually leaving. Alex tried to pull her back with apologies and threats, but Mia held her ground. Today, she's thriving, proof that escape is possible with resilience and support. Here's the twist. Manipulation isn't always external. We all carry the potential to manipulate, to bend someone's will to our own. Maybe it's a white lie to avoid conflict, a subtle push to get your way, or a moment of jealousy that makes you want to control. The line between love and manipulation is fragile, defined by intent. A loving partner seeks mutual growth. A manipulator seeks dominance. So ask yourself, are you building someone up or breaking them down? Are you loving them or controlling them? In the game of love, the most dangerous mistake is not recognizing the manipulator within yourself. Love is a battlefield, and manipulation is its stealthiest weapon. Arm yourself with awareness, learn the signs, trust your gut, and protect your heart. The cost of falling for a manipulator isn't just a broken heart, it is a fractured sense of self. Don't let the shadows of deception define your story. Step into the light, reclaim your power, and choose love that lifts you up, not love that pulls you under. Because in the end, the greatest victory is knowing who you're fighting for and who you're fighting against.